Derby County face Spanish opposition in their final game of pre-season as Real Valladolid travel to Pride Park Stadium. It's going to be a very, very interesting game to see what Derby County can do up against a possessional style team. Now, we're going to face a lot of them this season in the Championship because there's a lot of teams who want to keep the ball, want to have the ball, and I do get the impression that Paul Warne wants us to be on the back foot, counter-attacking side. I think we're going to be front foot pressing, but as a team, I think we're going to be on the back foot, sitting deeper, soaking up the pressure. Now, a lot of people aren't fans of that style of football, and for me, I'm not a massive fan of sitting deep and countering, but it can work, and we saw it last night versus Barnsley. Soak up the pressure, win the ball in a good area, you get into good counter-attacking opportunities. Now, are we going to see that against Real Valladolid? Let's wait and see on Saturday, but there's a lot that needs to happen for us to be successful this season. But before we do get into talking more about this pre-season friendly, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below, turn on the notification bell and hit that like button. Stay tuned for all of my latest Derby County and EFL Championship and League One videos that are going to be heading your way over the course of this season. My League One prediction video is going to be out later today. No, my League One preview is out later today. League One prediction video out tomorrow. So make sure you hit that subscribe button to see when that drops. Well, shall we get into it? Well, Derby County face Real Valladolid on Saturday, and it is going to be an interesting one. Now, Joe Ward picked up a little bit of a knock. His knee was sore, which is why he didn't play against Barnsley last night, as I'm recording this. So that's an issue. Another issue, Connor Washington played for the 21s yesterday to make sure that he can build fitness into his legs properly. I bet he probably played probably 50, 60 minutes maybe in that one. Obviously, there is some positives to take away from last night. In an attacking sense, we seem to finally be clicking. Now, it's not 100% right yet, and I don't think it is going to be 100% right for the first 4 or 5 games maybe, because you've still got these players to click and form partnerships and to figure out what works best in the systems, and that comes over time. Now, the problem that we do face, and it's a problem that we've seen throughout pre-season, is a lot of the goals that we've been conceding have been as a result of defensive errors, and we can't do that going into a championship campaign against teams with squads worth £300-400 million. Maybe not 300-400 million, but you get my gist. And it's one of those for me where we need to start being defensively solid again, because if we go back to last season, one of the reasons why we got promoted was being the best defensive team in the league. Another team on with that sort of defence, like, you've got to have the defence to be able to have the attack, if that makes sense. You can't be sort of letting in sloppy goals. Now, if we go and win every game 5-4, obviously I'm not going to complain, but I think you can't be giving up the sloppy goals that we gave up last night. I think 3 of them really were goalkeeping errors in a way. The first one, I think Vickers should get there. I'm not sure if it's the second or third one. I think there was a couple of moments where Vickers came out and completely missed the ball. I think Cosgrove had an opportunity really early in the first half. Really should have gone 1-0 up then. And it's just, it's disappointing to see this sort of defensive display, because we aren't used to that at Derby. I think we've conceded 13 goals over pre-season. I think we've conceded 10 in the last 3 games, and it's not great. It really isn't great. It's not what you want to see. It really is awful performances in that back 4, back 5. And is it goalkeeper related? Because if I go back to when we had Keller Roos in goal, I used to always think with Roos in goal, we looked a mess defensively. It looked as if the defenders didn't trust him. They overcompensated, which then gave up opportunities. If we go to last season, when we had Wildsmith in goal, we looked solid and compact and tight, and we looked good as a defensive unit. But when Vickers came in, it went a bit sloppy. Now, I'm not saying that Vickers isn't a good goalkeeper. I'm not saying he can't command a back 4, back 5. But what I have seen from personal experience of playing the game, of being involved in analysis, is you can tell when the players aren't 100% sold on something. It's like when you've got a striker that has a bad touch, they won't play it into him. When there's a winger that keeps losing the ball, they'll start to deviate away from him. And I'm starting to feel like maybe there's a bit of a trust factor within the squad where Josh Vickers is probably an amazing bloke. Don't get me wrong, the squad probably love him, but it doesn't mean that on a football pitch that he's trusted. So it's one of those for me where it's really awkward. I'm really hoping we have Zetterstrom in for the Blackburn game, and it's no offence to Josh Vickers, but I just don't think it's his level. He couldn't get in the side over Joe Wildsmith in League One. Now, obviously, there is alternate reasons for that, but when he was available, he wasn't able to win the shirt, and when he did have the shirt, he then lost it again. Obviously, it was a bit of an injury, but he also had a couple of iffy games, so it's difficult for me. I think if you have not done so already, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below or in this top corner to stay tuned for all of my latest Derby County and EFL Championship and League One content that is going to be heading your way over the course of this upcoming season. There's lots going on the channel right now. Championship previews and predictions are already out. League One preview is out later today, and the League One predictions are out tomorrow. So make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell to see when those videos drop so you can be the first ones to view it. Realistically for me, I think we've got to play a 4-3-3 or a 4-2-3-1, because probably more a 4-3-3 because I don't think we have a number 10. Because Mendes Lang is ineffective when he's narrow. Caden Jackson is more effective out wide. Barkhazen is more effective sitting on the byline. Who else have we got out there? Blackett Taylor is one of those players that picks up the ball and drives. Now, obviously, Blackett Taylor picked up a knock in the game last night versus Barnsley. Be interesting to see how that one develops, because I was really looking forward to see him in the Championship, and I'm really hoping that this doesn't set him back too far. I'm really hoping it's not a massive injury and he can still be available for that first game of the season, because I do think he could have a bright year. And the big problem that seems to be with Derby fans at the moment is we're still waiting on a goalkeeper that we've known we've needed probably since around February. There was a lot of talk around February that Wildsmith was going, and realistically I think that this deal should have been sorted months and months ago. Well, at least have a deal on the table. If we get promoted, like, let's go for it sort of thing. You then look at the back four, back five. I don't think we've bought in a defender this transfer window, and I think we're crying out, because it looks as if Ben Osborne's going to play in the middle. So I think we're crying out for a left wing back, left back. I think we're crying out for a centre half, and they're three positions which I could have told you we probably were going to need at the back end of last season. I bet I even mentioned it if you go back to my squad video right at the end of last season about the players who I want to stay, want to go, blah, 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 where I think we need to improve. I think I said we needed 10 players. We're currently on 6. I still think we need another winger, probably one that can play on both sides. I think we need a number 10. I think defensively wise in midfield, I think we're fine. I think box to box wise, I think we're fine, because you chuck in a Liam Thompson as a box to box, you play an Ibu Adams, you put in a David Ozo. Defensively, you're solid. Now, I don't think Kenzo's a number 10. He looks more of a deeper midfielder. He likes to drop in and collect the ball. So I still think we need a number 10. I think if Karamoko Dembele is a possibility, he needs to be in before Blackburn. He probably won't start Blackburn, even if he's in before Blackburn, because you know what Paul Warne and his staff are like. They want to get them in and sort of bleed them in gently. And whether that's rightly or wrongly, that's entitled to everybody's opinion. I don't particularly mind it. I think sometimes you have to do that so that a player's comfortable. But obviously, I think we're dying for that creative spark in the middle. I think right back we're solid, right wing back we're solid. Obviously, the wide positions, I think we need an extra body. Up front, I think everybody knows we need extra men up there. And then obviously midfield, I think we are dying for a number 10. I think everywhere else we're fine-ish. But I've basically said every position on the pitch. We need a goalkeeper, centre-back, left-back, number 10, right and left side, and a striker. So we need 4 players minimum, in my opinion. I am starting to get the impression that Dejan Brown's probably going to stay around and get a chance, unless we can get someone in by the end of the window. But I do think Dej is going to end up staying because we don't really have many striking options. I don't necessarily think Washington is going to play, and I think I think our bench is going to have 2 forwards of Washington and Dejan Brown for the Blackburn game, because obviously that's what it looks like at the moment, and it'll have to be James Collins starting up front. So it is going to be a very interesting one, and heading into this pre-season friendly, it's going to be difficult to figure out what the plan is, and we still need so many bodies, and it's very awkward looking at this squad and trying to sort of envision what we're going to be like in the Championship, because I don't think this is the squad that we're going to have by the end of the window. I do think we're probably going to bring in 4 or 5 more players. I think there'll be, obviously the goalkeeper's got to come in there as one, and I think we'll bring in 4 others. I think there'll be loans. You're allowed 5 loans in a squad, so it makes sense. But yeah, it's going to be difficult. I'm going to go for a score prediction for this one of, I'm going to say a 1-1 draw. I think we're going to go back to our defensive solidness. Hopefully Nelson can play, but I do think we're going to sort of focus on being defensive and keeping the ball out of our own net. I think we're going to end up with a 1-1. I think it'll probably be Mendez-Lang that scores. But yeah, let me know your predictions down in the comments section. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, turn on the notification bell, smash the like button to help this video go to brand new audiences, and I'll catch you in my next video. Make sure to go and find me on TikTok, pictured here, and Twitter, pictured here. These are the places where I'll keep you all up to date with all my upcoming videos and my thoughts and feelings around the Formula 1 and football weekend.